name is Thien. I am a first year here, and I am a computer science sneaky almost major.
Why did you pick your major?
I decided to pick computer science because out of all the majors there so far, it feels the most right to do for college. I think it would have the best return on investment too if I do it, and just computer and tech is just really cool in general. I do have other interests too, like music or psychology that I've considered, but I think learning about this computer science is probably the best choice right now.
Where were you born and raised?
I was born and raised in Tacoma, Washington, especially this northeast Tacoma. A lot of white people though. It's not as much Viets. I ended up moving up to Renton for high school, and there were so much more Viets. So basically my dad and my mom split, and my mom's in Renton, and my dad's in Tacoma. And I basically stayed with my dad for like all my life. And then I would go up to my mom for the weekends. And then for high school, it switched. But then I was able to find more of like a Viet community up in Renton, which was nice. There were like over 70 Nguyen's in the yearbook. Which I think if I lived around Renton, Bellevue, Kent area all my life, it wouldn't be so much a surprise. But in Tacoma, I was like the only Nguyen. But there would be like one other Nguyen. Or one other Viet actually. Not even just Nguyen, like one other Viet. So then like going to Renton and seeing like 70 Nguyen's, just 70 Nguyen's in the yearbook. There's so many other like trans and pos and all that too. It's just, that was the biggest shock. But I definitely came to appreciate being in the Viet community much more because I came from like a secluded area compared to like always being born surrounded by Viet people. So it's nice because I came to appreciation of the community, and even at SU too. I mean, I guess SU and Renton are pretty comparably similar because there's a lot of Viets here and there's a lot of Viets in Renton as well. It is much different from Tacoma. I never like found like any. I never really. I don't know. I struggled to like socialize and have friends back in Tacoma as well, and I never had like a social down there that I was like comfortable with. Coming up to Renton, especially after COVID, it was partially I wanted to like go on my shell and try to like make new friends, but I think just having so many Viets and so many Asians up in Renton definitely helped me thrive more.
It's like how it was like growing up.
I definitely did feel a bit like of imposter syndrome, just being like especially the only Viet specifically down there, and that's at least with like school. Home, it's so interesting though. Home is like the opposite because my dad remarried to a Viet and my mom remarried to a white person. So it's funny how I had more of a traditional Viet life growing up in Tacoma, where being at school it was like I felt like I was more surrounded by like not Viets. But then at home, I had all like the Viet thing going on with like having to eat dinner all with the family and all the Viet furniture, and I mean my family's Buddhist, so they always play like the Buddhist song at night. It's different. So then when I moved up to Renton and I had more of a Viet community, I felt like I kept in touch with the Viet culture through like friends more than an actual home because my mom's kind of whitewashed. So yeah. And then I was still at least maybe able to relate with other friends because I kind of had that Viet growing up in Tacoma.
Oh yeah, have you ever traveled to Vietnam?
Yeah,
What's your thoughts about it?
I like it. I used to go. I think I went much more when I was little. I think in total I probably went there like over 10 times just because I went so much when I was little.
How was it like being a Vietnamese? Because when we travel, they know.
I see it as like how we can tell when international students speak English. I always see it as like it's probably the same with them when we speak Viet. Like it's so they can tell it's broken and not fluent, or like at least not native. I need to work on my Viet. I think it's gotten worse actually, especially like since I moved with my mom. Since my mom's family only speaks English, and even up at SU as well. I haven't been using as much of Viet anymore. And it's interesting to say too, because Viet is actually my first language. but I like forgot like most of it now.
How has being Vietnamese American shaped your actions growing up and your perceptions of self?
Because I take being Vietnamese American as a identity, I feel like sometimes I kind of put myself into that. I don't know if it's. I mean, you can see it as a good or bad thing, but I sometimes put myself into like that stereotype, like the mom minority. So like having to keep up like the good grades and all that, and any other like typical Asian trait. I think there are some things I do that I feel like I kind of related just because I'm Viet and I'm in the Viet community. I feel like a lot of Viets like they like watch anime or they like K-pop and all that, and I do too. And I'm wondering like maybe there's like some correlation between that and like because I'm a Viet American, there's a higher chance that I actually got into that stuff. I got into EDM at like a really young age, like when I was like 3rd grade with like
Really?
yeah.
Third?
I think like 3rd grade actually. I was always like a fan of EDM because like
You started partying since then, bro.
so I've been like a rave guy since then, bro. Because at the time I didn't see it as like an Asian thing, like being into EDM and raving. I didn't see it as like an Asian thing at the time.
How have you faced cultural challenges in school or like the general community?
Oh. Okay, so I guess in Tacoma, I always had social anxiety, so I was really bad with socializing, and I struggled to like talk to other people. And I think just having like not being around like as much like kids also like kind of contributed to it. I wouldn't say entirely either. I would go to like family parties and I would still struggle to like talk to other kids, at least for school. Like not being able to relate is one thing. I was kind of always like quiet. Even like I know people say like, oh yeah, their social skills got worse during COVID. Honestly, mine was the same because I never really had any in the first place. It actually got a little better because I like somehow got into social psychology and philosophy, and I just dove into that because I wanted to like see like actually learn social skills and how to make friends. But I think so. I guess the challenge was because I like had trouble talking to other kids since I wasn't surrounded by Asians, and like it affected me. I guess I just had trouble socializing, and even in high school, like I guess in high school was like the part where I still sucked. Sure, there's like more Asians now, but like I still had trouble socializing, and the entirety of sophomore year was when I was like just trying to get out of my shell and try talking to people. But I think if I didn't do that, I would have not been where I am today.
What does being Vietnamese American mean to
Oh. Not just an ethnicity, but also an identity. There's some traits I have, or some like I guess there's some traits or some interests that may have came just from being Viet, and like the stuff I was surrounded with, like how I was raised, and the things I relate with other people to, like from just because of being Viet, I guess. So that's why being Viet is just not just an ethnicity, but also an identity as well.
How do you plan to stay connected to your Vietnamese culture and connections during your time in college?
VSA was one thing. Being surrounded by friends who are Viet and talking about like Viet culture related things. I mean, it just comes naturally, but I think that also kind of reinforces it too. And I'm still visiting my family, especially on my dad's side too. I'm still like trying to make time to visit him, so that's also another way of keeping in touch with that as well. Especially it is nice going home to my dad's place and then kind of getting back into that Viet environment. I'm eating like the Viet food where it's like gan and rice at the table. Our family's weird. We put magazines on the table. That's kind of weird. I don't know. That's like some families do that, right? Yeah. Have like the antique table and it's like magazines on top.
Yeah.
That's us for some reason. And then because we're a Buddhist one too, so we have like the Buddhist we had like the monk here and then like the candles as well. I tried to speak Viet as much as I can when I go down there, but yeah, I'm fortunate enough to because I just I just go nearby. I go to uni nearby, so I still get to go visit my family and stay in touch.
What is your favorite Vietnamese food that is not basic?
That is not basic.
Not basic.
Tehel Wai. Actually, I don't know if Tehel Wai is basic or not. It's on the line. It's on the line. Then I'll say Tekong.
Okay.
It's Nui.
Really?
I like
That's
Nui.
like usually people's like lower tier.
What? People don't like that? Something like Nui. It feels more light.
What is your favorite Vietnamese saying or Oh!
I'm just kidding. Trời ơi. That's so basic though.
Nah, you're good.
But yeah.
What does success mean to you as a college student, Vietnamese American?
I would like to keep in touch with culture. Obviously, I don't want to throw that away. But I guess in general, be happy with what I do. I guess. I mean, I'll be honest. I'm pretty content. I'm already pretty content with where I am. Obviously, I still have like goals and stuff. And I want to get a degree, try to get a job, whatever. I'm not someone who's gonna like stick to the same thing all my life, so I might switch around. Hopefully, music gets somewhere. Like that would be great too. But I guess in general, like I'm pretty content with like where things are right now.
Buddhist like point of view too, not like.
Oh, my family's Buddhist.
Yeah, like,
wait, the connection.
Like, to be like really content.
Yeah, right.
Buddhism is like a lot of like peace and acceptance in like the present. And so I just think like that was like a kind of nice experience for me to like adapt.
I mean, that's what my grandma talked about before. Maybe that's
like,
where that came from.
Yeah,
Whoa!
like, you're like,
No, I think I got really lucky with my family because, like, I would say my family is definitely on the more lenient side. Like, they're not like tiger parents or anything either. Like, they're like, oh, we would like you to, be this like child, this like minority, but also we want you to be happy. So I got really lucky. I think because that's how I'm like this right now.
yeah.
So
What lesson or advice would you give to another college student who's about to, come into college, or to Vietnamese American, or that like relates to you, or just someone that's in your same?
try to enjoy the time you have here. Appreciate, I guess, like obviously, you try to reach a goal, but appreciate the journey as well. Enjoy the journey. And college is a limited experience. Like you only have a few years here, and that's it.
What hope or message do you have for our Vietnamese culture and community?
Vietnam #1.
Yay!
Let's keep it strong.